Hello again, and I have a new manga that I've never covered before, and this is Hunter x Hunter. Now, admittedly, I'm a bit late to the game. I look back to when I finished the current 2011 version of the anime, and that I watched that in 2021. So I was late to the game there, but very much on board now. Love it, one of my favorite animes. So we'll dive in after a little recap because it's been almost 2 years since the anime went on hiatus. But right now we are going on an expedition to the Dark Continent. This seems to be the sort of arc period where Kurapika and Leorio are going to shine, whereas obviously the Chimera Ant arc, and well, more than that, it was for a while where it was the Gon and Killua show. But those two are getting a moment to shine. But before we get to the Dark Continent, we are on the massive ship that's heading there, and the current arc, which is, I don't know what they call it, like the Succession arc or something, where 14 princes are battling it out to see who will be the next king of the kingdom that I forget the name of. It's not really going to be that important, I don't think. 3 have died. 2 were very nondescript. 1 I was very sad at, and that was briefly forgot her name. Kacho. Was sad at that one. I was really pushing for Kacho and Fugetsu to make it out, but alas, they did not. They tried to escape down a lifeboat, but it turns out the whole thing was sort of set so you can't escape, and they were immediately set upon by sort of some death Nen nonsense. It seemed initially that they might have escaped, but it turned out Kacho died. And her Nen beast has taken her form. So Fugetsu is currently none the wiser, but sadly she died. So we jump back in. We are now on chapter 401, which honestly, after covering One Piece, it's not that much, but it's still a healthy chalk. Hopefully, there won't be. We'll get a few chapters before the next hiatus, because there'll be another hiatus. Come on, but we dive back in. We're on day 10 of the voyage. So a nice lady has been summoned into Kurapika's secret little chamber where he unlocks people's nens, but she is already known as a secret Nen user. Kurapika has probably already worked out she can use Nen, so we're kind of curious how this is going to go down. But she immediately reveals to Kurapika that she can use Nen, but the snakes that killed one of the guards were not hers. Her Nen ability is basically something she calls Transparent World's Moonlight Act. It's conditional. She can loan her power to other people or restrict people's abilities with it. It's very interesting, we'll say. But Kurapika immediately draws out his chain and his gun and points it at her, saying that if she lies, he will just immediately shoot her. She seems unfazed. She doesn't believe a 22 caliber gun can kill a Nen user, which is a fair point, but Kurapika has his ways, as we know. But she reveals that as part of this agreement, she must tell the truth. And she starts with what was originally their true plan, and with a shocking revelation that she is the daughter of Beyond Netero. Now, to be clear, what she's saying here is a lot of it is conjecture. She doesn't know for sure, but she's pretty, secure with her theories. That Beyond has done this every time a prince was born. She manages to have a child with some woman in the kingdom, and yeah, so he's been getting around. These children then get put in the Royal Academy and trained to be soldiers. She worked this out because she was missing a trait that supposedly should have been 100% passed down from her father, and then she learned of like her brothers and sisters that have been born the same way, and her original theory was that Beyond had just planned to put children in high positions next to the princes. What's also curious is all these children, including her, they were born with Nen, which is remarkable. As they were babies born with Nen, they instinctively learned Ten and Zetsu quickly to prevent fatigue, and this leads them to being top of their classes without really trying. But then it's also revealed that Netero, so I'm saying Netero, I shouldn't say Netero because it was Isaac Netero, Beyond put a Nen curse on all of the children. And that this Nen curse is very powerful and it's activated upon death. She even shows them this curse that they can see with Gyo. She lifts her tongue and there's some weird eye with concentric circles, and it's known as a strong curse sacrifice. They are destined to curse their target to death, whoever the target is, and the Beyond Netero fathered many, many children because he couldn't be sure of the final amount of princes there would be. And as a reminder, son or daughter, they are all known as princes. They don't know what the curse is or who the targets are, but they are sure it is designed to curse the targets to death. At this point, they're getting edgy because the conversation is taking too long. After all, as far as the people outside are aware, they're just meant to be activating Nen, so it should be fairly quick. And obviously, this is a prolonged conversation. Now, there's a bit of a weird wording in this page where maybe I'm misunderstanding or maybe it's a translation issue, but it says, "We don't think our targets are simply the princes we were assigned to," but then the next thing says, "You don't know who your target is, but you're sure it's a prince." So, I mean, is it a prince? Is it not? Probably. I don't know. But, she then theorizes, I think it leans towards the princess, because she then theorizes there are more than 10 strong curse sacrifices and 14 princes. It can't be a coincidence. So it looks like the princes are being targeted. And I think looking back at it, they're saying it's not necessarily the princes they're guarding or getting close to that is their target, but it could be any of them. But they're sure that the princes are the targets. And they come to the conclusion, obviously, that Beyond is trying to influence the succession battle. So they immediately talk about what this means, and they say that because he hasn't told his children about this curse, that he must be able to remotely activate it, or he leaves it up to fate. And that they suspect he wants to rig it so that the eldest Prince Benjamin wins the succession race. But the woman, hang on, I'm going to pick up her name. Yes, Longhee, that's it. I should have, it says it right at the start and I completely blanked on it. But she makes the big revelation here. She says, "My father is well prepared, cunning and greedy, and with this much preparation time, it's inconceivable that he would make all the effort for someone unrelated to him." And it all twigs for everyone here that means that she suspects that one of the princes is actually Netero's child. And I said Netero again. I should keep saying Beyond. But yes, they're suggesting that one of the princes is Beyond's child, and that is the one that he is going to try and manipulate to win the succession battle. Kurapika asks Queen Oito, what is the requirements for a prince to participate in the succession? And they just need to be a child who is born of one of the legal queens. So nothing about the father, which was Beyond Netero's way in. People are getting restless outside. It's taking too long, but they continue the conversation. Longhee reveals that the contract she wants to form is a truce between Prince Tubepa and Prince Wobel and Queen Oito. So they kind of go a bit wordy here, but basically it's neither side will interfere or attack each other, guard, queen, prince and all, until 9 a.m. next Sunday. And if anyone if anyone kind of goes against this agreement, the penalty will be a week of forced zetsu, which is insanely powerful because, as we should all remember, Zetsu is complete shut off of Nen. So a additional stipulation she adds to the contract is that they must find out which prince is Beyond's child before either Prince Tobeppa withdraws or only 2 princes remain. And if none of the princes turn out to be Beyond's child, then her ability will automatically activate, and Kurapika's side will get rewarded. They do agree another contract. It's not very important. It's this. I'll read it here. It's very weird. But it's like, my additional stipulation will expire at the same time Prince Tobeppa cancels the truce, but if you are willing to continue the investigation, I promise to write a new contract between us and compensate you in the same fashion. The reward is you will be granted a one-time use of my ability. And Kurapika, ponders the usefulness of forced Zetsu, obviously. And he comments that, the chain hasn't moved, she hasn't lied. So then, she's now ready to reveal the current true plan. If Beyond's child is among the princes, she will kill them herself. So then their conversation finished. They step outside the room, and everyone's generally fooled. It seems like everything's gone well. There's no sign of a struggle. Even the guy who was highly suspicious doesn't see anything, but notices that Longhee has been crying. So then we finish this chapter off with Beyond Netero himself, and he's finished reading a book, has a bit of a conversation with a guard. He's asked if he has any more requests, and he, interestingly, requests a meeting with a certain individual. He doesn't name them, but we might find out who that is next week. Now, I wasn't ready for this. I was always ready for Beyond Netero to maybe be a shady guy, but to have planned all this, to be so sinister, seemingly. Like, you got used to Isaac Netero being this nice old man who he used trickery against Meruem, but seemed generally a decent guy. And then Beyond is just, as described, greedy, manipulative. It's kind of crazy. And I'm curious, who do you guys think is his son? Is one of the princes his son? Because I had a thought about this. So the prince I think who's going to turn out to be Beyond's son is the one that I hate pronouncing, but I'll give it a stab, and I'll say I think it's Serednich, the one who is a Nen natural, who is freaking out Delta. Is that her name? Theta, different Greek alphabet. But yes, he's freaked her out, even though she's a Nen expert herself, because of how much of a natural is and how quickly he learns Nen. And I think that's the reason for me that makes him the best candidate for being Beyond's son. But we will see more on Sunday. Catch you all later.